Okay, so today's job, I have a phylogeny, which is this one. I'll just navigate to the location cat to view a file. So here's a tree. So the job is simply to plot this phylogeny with these node support here. These are not actually bootstrap. These are a newer index called internode certainty. But the job is to simply plot this tree with these node supports somehow. So I have my own code for plotting trees. This script here, process Newick. Now I've used this script for dozens and dozens of different various things, so maybe I already have the code in here to plot node support, but I need to check. If it's not there, then we need to write some new code to do this. But it's a rather large tree. This is over 1,000 taxa, so we can't really print these as numbers. Probably plot maybe coloured circles and the shade indicating a level of support, I think. So first thing is to look through this code and see if it is already implemented. I don't recall at the moment. So Perl path to the script name. This is what we'll be working on today. In tree. This is the name of the file containing the tree. Put this name into a variable because it's rather long name, and put into here. Now prefix just any string to this. And CBI tax number, which is used in labeling. Probably won't need this. Okay, so let's have a look through this, see if we've already got this. Now, so the script uses R to plot. So it sets us a bunch of R commands for plotting branches, which is the segments command. So if I were to plot, say, node label, some nodal depiction, I'll probably do this using the points command. So let's have a look first for points, use of points commands. Yeah, already I think we've found something here. So this is a conditional for internal nodes, and so this variable will probably contain the node values, and it's checking for the value, and if it's above some threshold 0.75, then it will be plotting a specified colour, and CEX is the size of the point. So this would be alright for bootstrap support, because you have quite an established value, about 0.7. For internode certainty, I think it's not really at this stage has a particular threshold which I'd be comfortable in using. I'm not really aware of what it should be. So what I prefer to do instead is actually colour according to the value. So this is not really, I don't think I would preferentially use this. Maybe we look for this plotting colour. Actually I see something quite interesting here. So this is setting the colour according to the support value. So here I think this is what we want to do. Okay, so line number 3178 is what we're probably working on. I'll just check the rest of the script, see if there's nothing else. So I don't really see anything better. I think we'll work with this one. So I think we can hash out this part. So the code for plotting coloured internal, I'm not sure what to call this. It's not really a label. It would be just good call it point, internal coloured points. So it's within a conditional about combining node labels. This is an old bit of code when I combined bootstrap and into node certainty and into a single label. But today we're just plotting a single label. So maybe set a new switch internal support as points. So we'll have a new argument. So if this argument is included in the command, this variable will be set to go back to where we were before. Okay, here we are. And we'll have a new conditional. If we set the script to print internal support those points, then that will be detected here, and we can insert a new commands just for plotting the single support values, which we should mostly got the code here already to do this. Okay, I think we need to, it doesn't have a normal branch support, so we need to find that and put it into that subroutine. So I'm just looking for the okay, here we go. So here's where it reads the original lyric string, and this should read this, and it's so brackets around here and here read this section of the match, and these brackets will read this section of the match, which will be the node support. It goes into $2, which is put into this variable, which is then stored into this hash here. So we should be able to retrieve node support from this hash here. So I'll copy that and try and go back to try and find where we were before. Let's plot. Okay, so this is where it calls the commands for plotting. Now we need to, somewhere here, we need to retrieve the node support and then put it into this subroutine. So maybe back here we'll try and retrieve node support to see if that's successful. It was best to check you've not used a variable before. Nope. So retrieving from the hash, we'll put the hash name here. I just need to check we're using the correct name of the, no, which is not, no. So this is probably the node ID here in this particular part of the code. So I need to insert that. Okay, so let's hopefully this will retrieve the node support, but we need to check that it is doing so. So put a, if it finds node support for this node ID, then it will go into this. If not, let's just print a warning so I can see if this we'll quit at this point so we won't miss it. Okay, let's start on Okay, I've got an error message for something unrelated. Okay, this is probably what I was using previous job. I used a script for. I need to switch this off. No node support for, and that looks like a terminal name. So this should only be called for internal nodes. Okay, so we need to specify as such. I can just copy this here. Just clarify what we're working on. And try again. Okay. It's not found the node support for a given node. Now, if that's a small number of nodes, that's fine. We can live with that. But if it's always finding, then that's a problem. Always not finding. So I need to differentiate those. So let's count how many nodes it is retrieving. And put that into an error message. No node support for this node ID, and seems no node support was retrieved at all up to that point, which is a problem. Okay, I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna allow it to continue from that point, and then maybe it's possible it's just the very first value has no node support of the very first node for whatever reason. Just to see what happens if it continues. See if it does start retrieving no support after this, after that first node. maybe the root node has no value on it. Let's have a look. No, there's a big problem here. It's not retrieving anything. Okay, so these are the IDs it's trying to retrieve no support for. Let's now check it is trying to assign. Let's check what IDs it's assigning no support for, and check these why these are not the same thing. So let's just print here what we're assigning and what we're assigning to, i.e. the hash key and the entry. Okay, it's not assigning any value, so it's not. So here's a problem here. It's not actually reading the support here. Okay, this would be one possible cause. Okay. Let's just set the script. The script is set to remove node supports, so we'll obviously need to deactivate that. Okay, good. Seems to be working now. So we don't need to print this out. Let's go back to where we were. So it seems to me, so these are mostly working. Okay, so we've retrieved node support at this point. Now we need to put that into this subroutine here. So we need to move this local variable outside of this conditional, or it will be lost, and then add that to this list of variables being submitted into this object here, this subroutine here. So that will be item 16 going into this subroutine. So within the subroutine we'll add a new item 16, which will be node support. Right. Just check we've not used this. Okay, we have. We need to use a different name. Okay. You can see a lot of our commands being used here. Okay, back to here. Now we have our node support. Now we need to plot it as a point and set the color according to the value, which we have the code to do that here. Yeah, it looks like I've used this before in a rectangular plots, but I'm plotting the circular tree here. So this R function has a color representative of a value between 0 and 1, and color being between two specified colors, and it is shaded accordingly. I'm just considering whether to move this actually down here. So this is where most of the code I use for circular trees is here. So yeah, I think I need to move this down. Okay, so if we specified in the command line want to plot these internal supporters points, also we need to conditional that we have the value, because some terminals particularly won't have the support value, so there'll be nothing in this variable here. So we'll have two checks. And if the variable which will usually contain the node support looks like a number, then it will go activate this whatever's in here. So we need should have the X and Y where we're at for the should be these values here. Okay, one other thing we need to do is, so when you use these color functions, you need to specify the colors to be used before the sort of scaled. So next need to find the appropriate. I think you even need a library for this. So I need to check this is being written into the set of commands for the circular tree. So hopefully these values are all between 0 and 1. Yeah, so here would be the value, some extra commands we would need. And yeah, it seems okay. It seems this has been written into the list of commands. So the color ramp command is varying a color between blue, white, and red. So we just need to one thing we need to do is figure out what colors we need to use. Maybe first we will see these. Just run the script to see if it's working there. Extra switch we need. Okay, so this will print a large file full of our commands for plotting a tree. So let's have a look, open this and see if it has our. Okay, this is too large. The value needs changing on here. Try and remember what it is. Okay, this needs to be changing to. Okay, try this again. Okay, a bit more sensible size. Right, so we've got the color function, which specifies which colors it's going to ramp between. And okay, I've specified the command, but I've not actually specified to write it into the file. So I need to add this. Add this here. Try again. Still don't see it. I'm not clear why this is not writing. I'm going to check what values these are taking in this conditional. Okay, so the internal node support is not correctly specified at this point. I'm not sure why. So, let's go back. Okay, here we are. We've not using the wrong variable here. Okay, try again. Still not. Although this, possibly this is all it's just printing for the terminals, so I'm still going to check if it's. Oh, okay, fine. It is actually there. So this error message is just printing for terminal IDs. So it just seems to be working now. Okay, good. So we have a command to specify the colour based on the node support, and then plot a point, hopefully at the correct position. So let's now run this and see that there'll be a bunch of changes we'll need to make for tree plotting, no doubt. Nothing. Okay, we're plotting point, x-axis below -1, 2. So we'll just check our plotting window. Yeah, okay, here so. Let's change the plotting window. And we are actually getting coloured points. So let's change a bunch of parameters need changing here. We have the node branch length. Say 0.3. Terminal labels are being printed. We don't want this. Best to make a note of the parameters we need for each time we use this script. Print text. No, I don't want to print text. Okay, let's try again. Still nothing. not sure why it's printing as such tiny values now. So this everything's been printed right in the middle. I've done something wrong. I think it's this. Okay, so we have, yep, let's plot these a bit bigger first thing. So we need to change this value here, CX. So it says new variable for internal support point size. Comma 2, let's try a new value. And maybe black branches are better than this grey. Okay. So maybe we use some more intuitive color scheme. So we're scaling between 0 and 1, 0 being low support, one being high support. So the colours maybe this scale between grey and red. So let's try these different colour scheme. This is specified in the color ramp command. Try grey and red. I think I still want to plot these a little bigger. I think it's a bit more attractive with a larger internal node. Okay. Yep, this looks good. I think we've depicted what we want to depict. So high support throughout most of the tree, and areas where it gets a bit grey, or areas of reduced support is pretty clear. Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. So I think that's enough today. We've achieved our goal. It would be difficult to depict this using the values. I think it's a lot better. A couple of other things I'll probably do this tree. I'll plot some summary labels on these. Some of the taxonomic labels are on the outside. But yeah, this shows what I want to show. Okay, so I think job done for today. Brief summary what we've done. So this Perl script reads the Nuix string and does a whole load of different processes on this. It reads a structure into an object and then navigates that structure and to do various things, build up a new Nuix string modify it in some way, or interpret the X and Y positions as X and Y positions for plotting, and in this case plotting the branches and node in the correct positions. And yeah, okay, so until